Hey everybody, welcome back to Cyber Samurai, and today we have quite a bit to go until the game. It recently got pushed back until a now November 19th release date, but we will keep trucking along, and we know that it is for a very good reason because few studios put out the kind of material and the amount of material for a $60 game than CD Projekt Red, and they've already confirmed so much as far as how much DLC they plan on releasing even after the game, and that they're just working on polishing. And not a lot of people may know this, but polishing actually can take just as long as the entire development of the game itself. It often almost doubles the production time, just kind of getting out all the bugs and every little detail. So hopefully we don't mind waiting, or you guys don't mind waiting. I know I don't. I was a little upset when I first found out, but it's no big deal. And especially because today we got the first episode of Night City Wire, which we're going to take a look at right now. So throughout the opening trailer, we get a brief view of Night City and a few quick scenes that were cut together. They give us an overall synopsis of the main story, so I'm guessing this is either the new, maybe not the gameplay trailer, but the story trailer at the very least. And I just have to say, holy crap, this game looks better and better with every snippet of gameplay that I see, and it's just turning out to be more and more impressive. Very vibrant colors, and just looks to be an overall amazing experience. Also, following the event, there were almost immediately videos uploaded by reviewers who had the opportunity just the other day to try the game out for, I believe it was 5 hours. Snippets, basically they were allowed to play the prologues, and there are multiple, which we'll get into in just a second, but they played the prologue part, and then they played through the mission story, which we have already seen. It was the mission that was part of the 48-minute demo back last year. But there are multiple prologues, and this was something that SkillUp went into in his review, which I highly recommend. And basically, he actually tried all three. So with his time, he played through each life path. So as a portion of the character creation, you pick one of three life paths. You can choose to be a street kid, a nomad, or a corpo. And whichever one you pick starts you off not only at a different physical part on the map, a different location, but the prologue that you play through has to do with your backstory, and you get a feel for probably all the controls and a bit of the navigation, things like that. But each one takes, they said, between 30 and about 45 minutes to complete, and the end of each sees you actually finally entering into Night City. And so that's the way they're going to kick it off, and I just have to say, I think that this is an absolutely fantastic idea. It is a great way to instantly add replayability to your game, because if you want to play through all three, obviously you are now going to play the game 3 times through. More evidence of the idea that they want to have us play in this game for quite some time was also the revelation that they are working with a studio out of Trigger Studios, I believe it was, out of Japan, and they have been developing an anime that will be exclusively on Netflix, and it doesn't even come out until 2022, which just goes to prove that they have full intention of us playing this game for literally years to come, with the added DLC that they've already mentioned, and the fact that this is coming out not for another year and a half at the very least. And don't be surprised if you end up seeing characters from this anime when it finally comes out back in 2022, or in 2022. Don't think that you won't be seeing characters from this anime in the game. And I mean, that's instantly gonna make anybody who has possibly stopped playing the game just go back and start playing it again. And it's just, everything about this sounds awesome. I'll definitely be watching that as well. That combined with the Dark Horse comic series they have coming out, I believe in September. It's going to be called Trauma Team, and it's just another thing that's getting me just super pumped up for this. And I really believe that this like cross media or cross platform, I guess you would call it as well, promotion, everything is just looking incredible. But the show itself, the anime in 2022, is going to be called Edge Runners, and it just looks fantastic. Also, I have to say that I think my most geeky part, where I just really geeked out, was the revealing of Atom Smasher. If you don't know, in the original tabletop RPG, he is one of the main bad guys. He is a full-on, he was a human. He basically turned himself completely into a cyborg through modifications and things. And in the fourth corporate war, the last corporate war that occurred, the players of the tabletop, they join up with Johnny Silverhand and Morgan Blackhand and attack Arasaka Corporation, where they set off the nuke, which is like the last major event. I think that was the end of the fourth corporate war, was the setting off of the nuke. But Atom Smasher is actually the character in the game that players ended up encountering, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he is the guy who actually kills Johnny Silverhand in that fight. And I'm not sure if Morgan Blackhand is still alive. I think that's still something that is up for some major debate right now, whether or not he's even in the game. But he and Atom Smasher end up fighting basically on the Arasaka rooftop, and that's who that guy is. So to see him in this game and having him be revealed in this was just incredibly awesome. I really can't say that enough. I'm super excited to see him, and hopefully get to take him down maybe. The next portion we saw was the Braindance portion, which also looked awesome. Braindances, or BDs, are recorded portions of someone's life that can be viewed by another person, just like a movie. And the portion we saw had V, the main character, locked into a BD of a criminal who robbed a convenience store, and he entered into this editor. And he has a tech named Judy who's helping him out, and he ends up being able to do all kinds of things. So the editor allows you to view the BD, watch from either first or third person view, but you can also move the camera around, kind of even creating your own little, almost like your own movie scene, making you the director of your own movie scene, but you're actually watching a recorded portion of someone else's life. And they were able to not only change the viewpoint, but also focus on different audio and visual elements within the recording. In the video that we're editing, V is able to highlight the weapon that was used by the main subject, a civilian who was knocked unconscious by the subject, audio that was not directly heard by the subject but was still recorded clearly because it was within range of the recording device that they had running. And finally, we were actually able to focus on a video feed that was on a screen behind the store clerk's counter, which when we focus in on it reveals that the subject was shot in the back of the head by his partner. It was pretty brutal stuff, but that's living in Night City, so I thought this was a pretty unique take on an investigative mode, very similar to something like Detroit Become Human, and it really reminded me a lot of that. And they also said that you also just have a lot more control. And Judy, the Braindance tech that coaches V through the experience, acknowledges that most Braindance scenes are actually of the adult nature. So this is something that is purchased by people on the black market. These videos of someone's actual life that you then get to go in and just kind of edit down and make your own. And the one video that we are watching in the scene, though, is referred to as a flatline or a flatliner. And this is a video in which the person doing the recording ends up dead at the end of the video. So basically a futuristic snuff film. And we also got to hear from Judy that these types of videos go for major premium prices on the black market. One thing I would love to see that I thought of while I was watching this portion was, I wonder if we're going to get the ability to record our own BDs and then go back and replay them using all of these editing capabilities, which would essentially allow us to record portions of a mission or even just like some free roaming that we're doing, and then go back and watch it in third person, or direct our own kind of scene that we also played through. I just think that that would be incredible. Then another major portion of note was that during the interview part, I found it pretty hilarious that, well, I thought it was awesome, first of all, that we got to look into Pavel Sasko's notebook. He's the lead quest designer, I believe, and it was pretty cool to take a peek inside of his notebook and just see that he had page after page of front and back notes, which looked like they had, one by one been crossed out as each idea was either completed or maybe rejected. I also thought it was pretty funny they made a note that the team at one point decided to use photos of his notebook to create in-game assets that ended up being the notes and scribblings of a serial killer that's in the game. So I thought that was pretty funny. It then wrapped up with just a little bit more chat. They talked about what they're looking forward to in the games and things like that. But all in all, this just looks absolutely amazing. I will definitely be doing a little bit more of a deep dive, finding some more details and things like that. But this is just my initial reaction, and I just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys and ask you to just leave me some comments, and let's figure out what's going on with this. Let's take a look into it. Again, like I said, I'll be coming back with a little more detail in a later video and things like that, but I'm just very excited. I think that this looks absolutely incredible, and I can't wait for November 19th. So until then, this is Cyber Samurai, and I will talk to you guys some other time. Peace and love. Take care of each other and yourselves, and we'll see you next time.